Hey everybody, Alex here, and I want to show you something that I broke and how I plan to fix it. So I recently dug and cut out a big magnolia stump here in the corner of my garden, and in the process I did a lot of hacking with an axe. I have a sprinkler line that runs right along the front edge of my patio, and in the process of cutting out that stump, I broke the one of the sprinkler heads that was attached to the end of this line. Fortunately, it was on the end, because this makes this quite a bit easier. When I whacked it with the axe, I broke the threading on the bottom part of this sprinkler head, and that threading actually ended up stuck in the elbow joint coupler that connected this to the line. So I managed to break kind of two things at once. So if you're in a similar predicament and you have broken off one of your heads and you're kind of wondering what to do, I'm going to show you what I would do to fix this problem. So one of the first things that I did was I used a pair of loppers to cut off the bad elbow coupler that I couldn't use because it had this threading stuck in it. So that was the first thing that I did. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and replace that elbow coupler, and I'll show you how I would deal with that. And then I'm going to show you how do we deal with this broken thread. So the dimensions of your adapters and couplers are going to depend on the dimensions of your line. I know some people have lines that are kind of cobbled together with bits and pieces, like some parts of mine are. So you might find non-standard couplers, you might find non-standard pipe sizes, things like that. So the size is kind of going to depend on your setup. But this is the coupler that I'm going to use. It's the female threaded adapter on the inside right here. And then it's got this kind of, this sort of ribbed insert here that goes into the line. And these ribs really bite into the inside of the line, so once you knock one of these things in, it's darn near impossible to pull it out. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and knock that onto my line, and you're going to want to make sure that you have one of these steel straps that you can tighten with a screw on the end. This really helps this coupling to be leak-free, so I'm going to put that on first. Make sure that that's nice and secure there, and then I'm going to go ahead and knock on my elbow threaded coupler. So I've already got my metal strap on the pipe. I've got my insert here. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in by hand and then knock it on. Okay. Once all your ribs are inserted and you can't really see that anymore, it's pretty good to go. I'm going to take my steel strap and bring it over this way, get that good and tightened on. I'm actually going to see if I can get a ratchet to get that really nice and tight. All right, found a ratchet. This was an 8mm. The snugger you get this on, the less likely it is to leak later. It's actually pretty convenient that this was all exposed when I broke it, because it was really easy to see what I was doing. All right, that's nice and secure. Now let's deal with the broken threads on our sprinkler head. So to fix my sprinkler head, I have to actually remove this threaded part, but it's permanently glued on. So I can't fix the thread, but I'm going to have to actually cut the pipe and replace it with a new threaded male adapter. And that adapter, I've already made sure fits the elbow joint that I already put into the line. So I'm going to cut this. Any kind of saw will do. You could use a chop saw. I'm going to use a manual saw just because it's what I had lying around. You can hear the blue jays around. So let me cut that off, and then I'm going to show you how I would attach the male adapter. So I'm just going to give it a firm grip. Get a good eye on that. Get at it. I'm going to wipe this with a dry cloth just to remove any debris from inside the pipe or on the outside. Next, I'm going to take some PVC cement and primer. The primer is going to clean the pipe and also help things to stick together pretty well. So it's typically this really crazy purple color. Get that on there. All right, now I'm going to take my cement. And I've pre-fitted this to the pipe so I know that it fits. Get that on the outside. A little on the inside. Oops. I just realized I did the thread and that doesn't do much good, does it? It should be on the inside of there. There we go, nice and snug. And we'll just let that set for a little while. So I've let my new pipe fitting set for about 15 minutes just so that it's set enough that I can handle it. And I think it's ready to go ahead and thread into our elbow joint. And so I'm just going to go ahead and screw that in. Fits like a glove. And I'm going to want that nice and tight enough so that there's really not going to be any leakage. What I really ought to do is run this line before I actually cover it back up with soil, so that I have a really good sense of whether that is leaking or not. If you want to make sure it's really nice and good and snug, you can use an adjustable crescent wrench here. Just kind of use those little ridges to help get a good snug tight fit. I'm just gonna let it sit for another 24 hours before I actually use it, just to make sure it's good and cured. But that fixed my broken parts pretty easily, and it only took me about 10 minutes. So if you're dealing with a similar sprinkler issue, hope you find that helpful.